The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 538 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the white colorway of the Smoke and Mirrors Anniversary Edition playing cards from Fulton's and Dane and Dave. So, with no further ado, take a look and see what we get. So here we can see that we got a matte white finish top box there. Was that new kind of style Dan and Dave logo on top there. And then you got this kind of black and white colored tuck box there. Then you got that kind of cracked kind of design there on the front. On one side it says designed, approved, registered, Smoke and Mirrors, Buck and Fulton. Other side says timeless, presented by the Fulton Playing Card Co. Classic or Timeless Classic. Then on the bottom here it says produced by Fulton Playing Card Co. in collaboration with Dan and Dave, illustrated by Kowalski & Co. Made in the USA, distributed by Dan and Dave. Then on the back here you got some more of that little information. For the seal, you got a white stamp style seal with that Dan and Dave logo. On the top under the seal it says Aristocrat. And now we just press down that seal, grab a card opener. And some seals are a little bit tougher, so they won't open as easy. There we go. And it's more of a softer feel of the seal. It's not like a glossy finish seal either. More like a matte. But now on the tuck flap here, on the inner, the tuck flap here, it says 2007 to 2022. There. And it says something in the middle, but let's say 11 years or something. And it says Anniversary Edition there. So they started in 2007, and these came out in 2022. There, and then on the inner top flaps, you got an S and an M for Smoke and Mirrors. Now, if we take the cards out of the box, on the inside of the tuck box here, you do have a full custom interior there. There was that kind of lined and circle design all the way throughout. Always love a custom interior. And now that we took a look at the tuck box, time to take a look at the cards. And always we'll start with the back design. So here we have a mirrored back design there. With the standard white border is a black and white colorway. You got that newer style Dan and Dave logo there in the middle. There, and then you got that cracked kind of design there. And then that fancy little border, then the white border. And it is mirrored, so you flip it over. Same design in both the directions. But now for the cards. Here we start with one little extra cards here, that really high detailed card. You got the Joker here. And it's really high detail. There, so it says Joker there in the little ribbon. You got the tree there and some toadstools with a toad there and a dragonfly. It's kind of almost like a hand-drawn picture kind of style there. And then we got another card here that has that Aristocrat style font there for the S and M for Smoke and Mirrors. And it's just the background on the back of both of those. And then we get to that custom Ace of Spades. You got that Aristocrat kind of style spade there in the middle. And it says Buck and Fulton. And then the rest of the spades are just pretty standard. They're not too crazy. But then you got one that is kind of custom there, with that smoke and mirror kind of design almost there. And then you got the slightly custom suits and numbers there in the corners, and that goes throughout the rest of the spades. So you got most of them are solid, but then you got that one suit there, that pip, that's the different design there. And then we get to the court cards of Jack, Queen, and King of Spades here. And they're the standard court cards, just that Aristocrat style court card there. But they're just standard. And then you got that custom Ace of Diamonds there. That same kind of pattern, and that pattern goes throughout the rest of this diamond as well. The same kind of like the spades. And then you just got those custom Aristocrat court cards here. Standard. And the same thing for the clubs, that's standard design. And the same kind of thing was that one suit that kind of stands out on each of the cards. And they're pretty just much standard clubs as well. Then you got that custom Ace of Clubs there, with that kind of styling. And then lastly the hearts, Jack, Queen, and King hearts. Once again, that kind of classic Aristocrat style court cards. And then the same thing for the hearts. There was that one that's the custom, and the rest of it is the normal. And then that custom Ace of Hearts there, was that same kind of familiar design. And then the last two cards in the deck here, you got a little art card here. So you got Fulton there in the middle, and then you got Dan and Dave there on either side. They're just standing in front of some stairs, and it is black and white. If you flip it over, just the back line. But then you got like the little ad card here, which says a product of Dan and Dave, Smoke and Mirrors, playing cards, and then you got the logo down there. It says trademark and copyright. It's backed on the back. But now that we took a look at the cards for the handling, they are made in the USA from the United States Playing Company, so they will handle fantastic. I'm not quite sure what kind of stock, but I'm probably like an air cushion, but they're probably like a crushed stock, or more thinner stock. Because Dan and Dave has their own kind of like stock, crushed kind of stock that they use. But straight out of the box, they seem to handle fantastic. Super smooth and crispy springs. They're not super thick or stiff, and they're not like super bendy or flexible, but they do have a nice good flex to them, but they also have that little bit of thickness to them, so they'll hold up over time. And they fan super smoothly. And they feel fantastic in the hand, so you have no trouble handling these. They handle super smoothly. Well, I gotta say, they look fantastic, and they handle fantastic as well. So Rolf, Fulton's Playing Card Co., and Dan and Dave always makes fantastic decks, and this one is no exception. This one is fantastic. Some of my favorites that they've released. They look, like I said, they look fantastic. Pretty standard there with that kind of more aristocrat style like font for the cards. And this is just one of two colorways, because there was a black edition that I'm pretty sure I already reviewed on the channel. So I guess there's not much more to say, other than for like the third time, they look fantastic, they feel fantastic, and handle fantastic in every aspect. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This has been day 538 of a daily deck review, and this has been the white colorway of the Smoke and Mirrors Anniversary Edition from Fulton's and Dan and Dave. And I'm the Canadian Collector, signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.